Okay. So welcome masters, hello masters, and welcome to another Indigo Youth Platform session. And today we have a session on effects of thoughts presented by one of our very own leaders from IYP, Chetana ma'am. And we will be having an interactive discussion after the session. And I would like to first start off by saying that Chetana has put her hand up to present a topic to us all. And so I would like to give a small introduction about her. Chetana is from Chennai, India. And since the past 10 years, her and her whole family have been into meditation. And she and her family have a 16 by 16 rooftop pyramid at their house. And she and her family members, with meditation, live healthy and happy. Chetana also takes meditation sessions for children along with her mother, and she tells stories to kids to empower them. Currently, she is taking a 41 days of meditation sessions for children in Melbourne and is also an amazing leader in IYP. So without a further ado, Chetana, you may start with your session. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonika, for the wonderful introduction. And thank you, Saroja, madam, for organizing this platform. This is a very good platform where we can share our knowledge here, and everyone comes here and get so much of knowledge with them. So thank you so much for organizing this platform, Saroja, madam. So first of all, I would like to thank Brahma Shri Pitamaha Patri ji to just give the meditation to us, and many things is happening just because of him. So I just wanted to thank wholeheartedly Brahma Shri Pitamaha Patri ji. So let us start the session. So while starting the session, the first thing, like we understand, we are going to understand many topics like how thoughts are formed, how what are the mechanism behind the formation of thoughts, how our thoughts actually influence our body, influence our surroundings, and influence our life totally. So let us look at these things in detail in this session. So first, to get started, how thoughts are formed. So basically, thoughts are, we view thoughts in mind's eye, the imagination eye. So, like we read a book, for example, like while reading a book, we have some sort of pictures going inside our mind, right? So that pictures is seen through our mind's eye. So that is where we also view our thoughts. We perceive thoughts in mind's eye, but where they actually live inside our body is in our aura. So in our aura doesn't only represents the emotional body, but it also represents the thought body. So it is a subtle level of consciousness in our aura. So that is where our thought body is, but we view it in our mind's eye. So this is what thoughts are present in our body. So for instance, let us have an example. There is a conversation happening, a casual conversation with a father and a son. So this casual conversation gets a random topic about son's birthday, which is going to be approached within a week. So a week's time was there, so he was so much excited about his birthday, and while he was expressing, he had a big smile on his face. His face was lightened up and he was so much glowing from inside. And he was so much excited to share that many people will come. He was discussing with father, many people will come at home. Everyone will give me presents. Everyone will greet me, and we'll just cut the cake. We'll have lots and lots of fun. So he was just talking about this, but suddenly his mind strikes that he has mathematics exam on same day. So that mathematics exam, after he strikes, he just gets the expression of distaste in his face, because mathematics exam means like we usually don't like that subject. So even that boy doesn't like that subject because he was maybe weak in that. So that's why while he was sharing, his face was so much distaste. He was not so much excited as he was sharing about his birthday to his father. So here in this situation, we can understand how our thoughts influences our body, our face expressions. Like he thought about birthday. He had so much happiness within him, but while he had the same day mathematics exam, he was a little distaste in his face. So that two diametrically opposite emotions are there for the same day. So this is how our thoughts and our emotions be here. So emotions directly are seen through our face, and then the changes of emotions within us is actually caused by our thoughts. Here we should understand that thought is the determining factor of our emotions. So thoughts are the first thing which need to be corrected. So here I wanted to relate with an example. Example I can give is a perfume bottle. In a perfume bottle you have a body, inside you have the liquid, and then when you just use it, you will get the fragrance to your body. So wherever you use it, you get the fragrance. So here this bottle represents our body, this liquid represents our emotion, and this fragrance represents our thoughts. So we can change the bottle and liquid, but the determining factor of this perfume is thoughts. I mean, it's fragrance. So in the same way we can understand, so the determining factor, so whatever we are doing, so there is a determining factor of thought there. So this is like, we'll take an example of this boy. For mathematics exam, he had the determining factor that mathematics exam was a thought. So that was the determining factor there. So we, whatever it is we are doing, the determining factors are thoughts. So next is core beliefs. Core beliefs are something which you believe that life facts, life facts which are true to you, that is called your core beliefs. So core beliefs, like I would relate to an example. So there is an Indian kitchen having an some amount of ingredients. Indian kitchen has a kind of ingredients which with spices and everything, and then European kitchen has the different ingredients. So each cuisine has their own ingredient kind of mix. So in the same way, if someone cooks the same dish, like I cook that dish and you cook that the same dish, the taste differs. So even it is the same dish, it at least differs a little bit. So that difference is seen. So everyone has their own unique way of cooking in the kitchen or cooking the food, and every cuisine has its own ingredients. In the same way, let us relate to ourselves. We are, our mind is a kitchen, and this in this kitchen, our thoughts are getting cooked. And you know what are the ingredients? The main ingredients are from, our main ingredients are core beliefs. Core beliefs are which we perceive the world, like in which way we perceive the world, that is called the beliefs. Like now you just experience something in life, but in that something experience, you just have a perceiveness in you, that the way you understand the situation and interpret the situation. So that is what is called the core beliefs. And some facts you may think that it is a true facts, like world is an evil, or like this world is just full of everyone cheats me. There is so much it's like mm, like there is so much amounts of things that there is not enough things, so that before itself I should make some arrangement and have my things there, because there is no much enough source out there. So everything should be taken before itself, before ahead should be taken care. And life in success is not so easy. We should work hard, really work hard. These kinds of core beliefs we'll be having basically. So these core beliefs, we think actually it is a real life fact, but it's not so true. But it is determining that we are thinking that it is real. That's why it's happening to us. So we are the one who are appropriating these things. So here, these core beliefs are the basic ingredients which actually forms our thoughts. Core beliefs we can relate to a filter also. Like now you are wearing a glasses which has rose color frames. So while you wear the glass, you view the world in rose color, right? So you don't view it normally, or you don't view it in any other color. So in the same way, our core beliefs are that kind of thing, where you wear the glasses of core beliefs, and according to that glass only you will be able to view the world, and according to that glass only you have the thoughts creating inside you, the thoughts coming inside you. So whatever the thoughts you have presently, that is because of your core beliefs. From that basic ingredients your thoughts cook from, and it gives in result out in this world. So that is how core beliefs work. So these core beliefs are very important. So core beliefs should be like these core beliefs are so much important that you should give a check upon yourself, that whether you have a good core beliefs or bad core beliefs. Like some people may have a naturally good beliefs, like this world is very nice, and this world can we can explore so much things in this world. So if you have this core belief, you will have the thoughts like what and all I should do more to explore this world, whom should I talk to them, what type of people I should meet, what type of things I should do. That kind of thoughts only you evoke from inside. So that is what core beliefs are. And the next thing I would like to tell about is our energy, how we receive our energy. So here I will relate a fish tank. So this fish tank, so no, before that, I would like to share some pictures. Just a second. So yes, so this is what core beliefs represent. This fine line is called core beliefs. From here, the main ingredients are formed. The bedrock of the ingredients are formed, and from that ingredients, our beliefs are formed. Limited beliefs are formed. From that limited beliefs, we get limited thoughts. From that limited thoughts, we get some emotions, and that emotions we show up in our face expressions. So that's what all this picture talk about. The next picture is, yeah, just a second, I'll share it. So yes, so this picture. Now I said about the fish tank, right? So this is the fish tank. In this fish tank, we actually sometimes fascinate ourselves, like observing how these fishes breathe, how how they move inside the water. That fascinates us very much. I personally love to view fish tanks and fishes. So here, these fishes, how they breathe through their gills. So these gills, the breathing with gills actually happens taking inside water and giving outside the water which it is unnecessary for that fish. So now it takes in the water which she needs, which it needs, and it separates the thing, like now it needs oxygen for its survival. From that water it separates oxygen and gives the rest amount outside, and it is actually that's actually happens. So that's how the fish have the respiration thing. In the same way, we live in the ocean of energy, and this ocean of energy is constantly influenced our with our aura. Aura is nothing but our personal energy field, as I have drawn here. So this personal energy field is always in contact with this universal energy around us. So this aura is equipped with major vertices. These major vertices are the chakras, we call it. So these chakras are aligned with our physical spine. So that's how aura is. And there are many minor these things, minor junctions, minor vortices of energies, which is colliding with other parts of our body. So this is how our energy field is. And from these vortices, we energy is just drawing inside us and drawing outside us. So from these vortices only we exchange energy with us, within us, and with and giving that out. So here let us understand how we give out the energy. So as this fish takes the water inside from its gills and gives the waste outside, in the same way, we receive energy inside and give out in the way of emotion outside. So now, like for example, we are thinking of something. So everything, this energy sharing which is happening within us, the determining factor is thought. Because of thought only, there is a movement created within our body and within our energy field. So first, the movement is created in the energy field, that is aura, and from that aura, there is an energy in motion. So energy in motion is basically called emotion. So then a thought is released, an emotion is mixed with it, and there is a movement of energy created within us. And that energy affects our body cells, our body organs, and then we tend to react with the face expressions. So, this is what actually happens when we think about something. So each thought has its own wavelength. So each thought, like for example, a birthday is very exciting. So inside, the excitement emotion comes within us, and in our face expression, that excitement is seen. So in the same way, so that face expression is seen. So now the mathematics examination, we may be weak in that. So because of it, there is a distressed emotion. So here the wavelength is little bit smaller. So I'm just giving for an example, but if every thought has its own wavelength, and according to that wavelength, there is a movement of energy happening within us, and that movement we create emotion, and that emotion we express outside. So here in this fish tank, after that is a rule, like you should change the water, you should keep on change the water within a week or somewhat. So in the same way we should be positive. So if we are not positive with our thoughts, we may actually influence others. Like we say no, like good friends meet up good groups, and bad friends meet up bad friends. That quote is there. So in the same way, it's like that. So now if we be positive, we start influencing people around us positively. So if I am positive and if I come near you, you will feel the same positiveness within you, because you are influencing your surroundings through your thoughts and through your vibrations. So your thoughts actually create your energy field vibration, and with that vibration, you give what are what you're feeling, you give that to others. Now for example, I'm very blissful, I'm very peaceful, I'm very happy, and I go around and I just talk with them, and that my tone will actually show me the happiness thing within me. So the happiness emotion is shown through my tone, and then there people will receive happiness and people will feel good as and when I talk to them. So that is how you influence uh, your surroundings around you. And then this is again, I wanted to relate to another example. I'll just screen share another image. Yes. So this is something called hologram. This hologram is basically functioning through four reflections. So all the four reflections together create a 3D image out there. So this 3D image is this actually can be related to ourselves. So our body is scientifically proven that it works like a hologram. So hologram in the sense, we have this universal consciousness, as a hologram within our cells. So each cell has the infinite number of possibilities in this universe. So now let us say my belief is something like world is very nice and everything is gonna be good, and success, I can achieve anything, for anything is possible for me. So I have these core beliefs, and according to it my thoughts are coming, and those thoughts create the reality. So here the core beliefs, so what I am thinking is happening here. So basically this holographic film strikes with the beliefs and thoughts which you are thinking right now. So you may undergo some illness, so that illness is because your beliefs and thoughts were like that, and your beliefs and thoughts strike with that infinite possibilities holographic film, and that is only the possible thing which can be determined out there. So basically there is an infinite number of possibilities in our holographic film. So we naturally come here like that. We have infinite number of possibilities in our cells. So that cells is something called holographic film. You can similarize that to it, but not exactly. So this is the infinite possibilities we have like that, and that is the basic race, that is a basic first race in this image. So like say this is the first race, and that is the infinite number of possibilities you have around this world. And then you have some beliefs, that is another race. So you are giving another reflection to your life image, and then you give a thought. So thought is the third factor which actually determines what will your life image be. So the first image is the infinite number of possibilities. Second image is the beliefs you have, and the third determining factor is the thoughts. So if you change your thoughts, your holographic film called life will change. Holographic image called life will change. So the determining factor is always thoughts here. So we should understand thoughts, how thoughts are important for our life. So how to drive our life, thoughts are the basic determining factor which strikes with the infinite possibilities, and then give it to us as image called life. So that is how our um, we function with our thoughts. That is how we influence our life with thoughts. So being a miraculous thinker, being a positive thinker will impact your life completely. Like as I said, through this holographic film. So this holographic image, the first basic race is infinite number of possibilities, and the second race, I am thinking that it is a very, the world is very nice, and according to that beliefs, I get thoughts like that. So what should I do next? What should I do? Things like that. So then I create the image of successful life here, successful career here. So that's how we actually function. Now, I would relate to these all examples with a story. This story is a just random thing. Randomly, some people are journeying in a ship, and this ship suddenly strikes through the cyclone and it just collapses entirely. And then this ship goes on, and everything is collapsed, and from that ship only 5 members survived, and they were just swimming so that they will get some kind of island, and they may survive themselves. So they were swimming all along the sea, but this cyclone was so much heavily forming, so much threateningly forming, and the waves were so much high, and it was so much this thing, like they were not able to swim properly at all. So like that waves were coming, and they were not comfortable with that waves. And then so here this some everything happening in this nature was very terrible. And these 5 members, let us understand how each one is thinking in their own way. So the first 4 members, these 4 members were thinking in the same way, like, what is going to happen? We're just going to end the life. This nature is not at all supportive to us. Like, just we came here to survive our life, but everything is happening like this. Waves are so high, climate is not supporting. I don't know whether I'll survive or not. So these kinds of thoughts were evoking. One was thinking about his family. What will happen to my family? What will I do? Without me, what the family will do? The second was thinking about his career. I was going to get a good career by going abroad. Now everything is lost. Everything is spoiled. What should I do? These thoughts was running in the second one. The third one, he was thinking about friends. Oh my god, I was thinking to enjoy with my friends. I was just having so much plans with my friends. Everything's going to be spoiled. And the fourth one was thinking about his studies. Oh my god, I was planning so much. I wanted to do this that, and everything is going to be just waste after all, because this nature is not at all supportive. And the fifth one was positive thinker. He was thinking that no, there will be a possibility that I will survive this cyclone. Someone will rescue me, or I will definitely reach an island and I will be survived perfectly. Only this thought was in his mind. Now, this cyclone was getting very much terrible, and these waves were also terrible equally. So, the people who were thinking like what will happen about family, friends, and everything, 4 people lost their life uh, in their way. So lost their life like that. So now this fifth one was only surviving there. So this fifth one was so much positive, and he was swimming and swimming as and when he was thinking that definitely I'll reach an island or someone will rescue me. He was having the positive thought in his mind, and he was going. He had the confidence that definitely we can reach. So then Suddenly, an helicopter comes from far away. Those helicopters were the rescue people. Rescue people came in and rescued that person. So here you can naturally understand how our thoughts influence our life. So here the four people who were negative thinkers actually lost their life in their middle of the way. Though these rescue people came little late, but they just lost their lives before itself. So you shouldn't lose hopes. You should understand that everything depends on our thought. Everything depends on our beliefs. So here, I would like to end this session by saying that please do meditation, because if you do meditation, you naturally become a miraculous thinker. You naturally become a positive thinker. You will understand who you are, and you will understand why these life situations are coming up, and you will understand that being positive will create positive life. You create your own reality. Your miraculous thinking will create miraculous life. So this is how we actually function. So naturally do meditation and get naturally the miraculous thinking inbuilt inside you. So I would like to thank each and everyone listening to me very patiently. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you, Chetana, for an amazing and wonderful session on effects of thoughts. It was an amazing session. We all learned a lot. And masters, we now have an interactive discussion. So anyone who would like to speak, please raise your hand and we can unmute you.
Hello, Chetna.
Hello, Saroja madam.
Yeah, Sonika, if you don't mind, I have just stopped for lunch break, so I'll just give my feedback if it's okay.
Yes, ma'am, no problem.
Yeah, Chetna, that was an amazing session.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Honestly, when you said you were going to talk about effect of thoughts, I was quite happy because thoughts itself is such a great subject. But I'm being very honest. I did not expect that you will take this subject to this greater depth level. I have seen many speakers. I have seen many people talking about thoughts, but the simplicity with which you took this subject forward, it just amazed me. I was speechless. I'm so proud of you to have you on this platform, and I'm sure Chetna, masters like you will take this Indigo Youth platform to the next few levels up. Every bit that you talked today was absolutely taking my energy level to many levels up. It's a great concept to mention that our whole thoughts are based on our belief systems, and belief systems are based on our perceptions. So to change thoughts, we have to change our perception, and that was such a great, beautiful chain that you took forward. Perceptions leading to belief systems, leading to thoughts. So just for this group, I would like to take it 2 steps forward. So Chetna mentioned perceptions leading to our belief systems, leading to the type of thoughts. But masters, going forward, these thoughts lead to the words we speak and to the actions we do. And that's how we form karma and the cycle chain that we have from birth to birth. Beautiful, especially the way you mentioned about the energy interaction. Amazing. I have no words to express how grateful I am to you. So thank you very much. We had just taken lunch break and I was so excited to really give this 2 cents worth of feedback, but thank you very much. So youth, you would go ahead with your interactive session and I will take my leave here. Thank you, Sonika. Thank you, Chetna, and thank you all the masters. Amazing session.
Thank you,
So
ma'am.
much, Saroja ma'am. It was so inspiring about listening your feedback. It was very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yes, Vishwanath, you have raised your hands. You can speak.
Yeah, hi Chetana. The session was really great, and your explanation gave great clarity about how everything is being created in reality. So, since our beliefs are the core from where the thoughts are being created, so sometimes we are not aware of our thoughts. It just happens naturally based on our belief system, which we are not aware. And if
Yes.
we want to change them, or if we have any negative thoughts, which just keeps happening based on the belief, but we are not aware of it, that this belief is the reason for this negative thought or the way I'm behaving. So how can we change them, or how can we change the thinking pattern, the thought pattern?
Okay. So naturally, you can induce the positive thinking. Like there is something this way, like giving positive words to water and drinking. Early morning, you get up, you just take a hot water, a glass of hot water, and just it'll refresh you. So just give positive thoughts like my life is successful. Thank you to whatever is happening around me. Thanks for this life, and just show gratitude. Just say, just give love to that water and then drink it. Just close your eyes, just feel it, feel those emotions, feel those words, and just pass it on to that water and then drink that water. You will have the difference. The whole day you will remain positive. So inducing this habit every day will make us naturally positive. And also along with it, meditation. Meditation, what happens in meditation is we break our insecurities naturally. As in when we do meditation regularly, we break our fears, we break our insecurities by understanding the real self, the true self, who we are naturally, where we have come from. We say we are soul. You will experience the soul in meditation completely. You will be with your soul. Your intellect will constantly guide you. So in this way, you will understand life is something what we are. So what we do, that is creating the life. So this having this understanding, you will entirely change your perspective, and this entirely change of perspective will normally and obviously give you miraculous thinking. So these two things you should follow every day, and this will automatically, it may take time, but you will definitely change your beliefs and you will become a miraculous thinker. So that was my answer to your question.
Thank you, Chetana. Definitely, I'll try the points that you have shared.
Yeah.
So it was really great session, and even the images that we had showed in the session really impacted a lot, especially the fish tank and the aura that is being created around us, and also
Yes.
the how our thought creates, the holographic images and the dimensions around us and the infinite possibilities. So it was really a great session, which was very new to me. Uh, Thank you so much, and congratulations on your efforts.
Thank you so much. That was inspiring. So
Would anyone?
anybody else?
Yeah, go ahead, Chetana. Yeah.
So anybody else would like to ask questions? You may ask, you may feel free, not only related to this topic, anything you may ask. I will try to give answers to that.
I have one more question. Can I ask it?
Yeah, sure.
Like you also said that our thoughts, when combined with emotion, uh, like that's how it's been going out into the energy fields around us. So, what is the role of emotion and how is thought and emotion connected? Can you just share about it?
Okay. So basically, you're talking about emotions. So emotions is something you should understand is the movement of energy happening within us. So now, for example, I'm thinking about my birthday, and excitement is created. The excitement emotion is created because birthday has a typical history behind it. The birthdays, like for instance, birthdays generally happen very happily. Everyone come, every year we celebrate it. It is a special day for us, and everyone celebrates, everyone comes, gathers here. We have a lots of fun with having a cake cut and having a party. So that is the history behind it. So now your emotions represents that history. So if you think about birthday, your thoughts constantly go upon the history behind it. So your past birthdays would have been celebrated in a very grand manner. You have been enjoyed a lot. So that's where your history actually represents your emotions. In the same way, if you think about mathematics exam, you may got low marks in it, or somewhat you don't naturally get interest in that subject. That subject is maybe boring thing. So the history is like that, the thoughts history is like that. So you are feeling the emotion like distaste and uninterest towards it. So our emotions actually represents the history of thoughts. So what kind of history we have in a particular thought. So each thought has its own history belonging to it. So that history will determine the emotions within us. That history will create the movement of energy within us. And that emotion influences ourselves and influence others too, others surrounding us. So now naturally, if I am very much anxiety person, or I am a very angry person because I was thinking something which made me angry, that thought history made me angry. So that if I talk, that tone itself is seen that I am angry, and that is where we influence others and they also become irritated. So this is how emotions, thoughts create emotions, and emotions influence people around us. So hope I answered your question.
Yes, the example that you gave is really great. When we have a birthday, we feel so excited and we look forward for it. So because
Yeah.
from the childhood we have been celebrating birthdays. So
Yes.
and when we have not done anything well about, like for example, the max exam you gave, which you have not done well in the past. So those kind of thoughts of the past is creating the emotion in the present situation. So,
Yes.
and related to the same, I have one more question is, like, for example, we have a bad max exam and didn't go well. Based on that, if we are carrying forward the same emotion, but we want to perform well now, we want to change that emotion. So, so can I say that if we change our thought, our emotion changes, or how does it go?
Yeah, so basically you should be positive towards it. Like now you identified your mistake, right? You are feeling tensed, you are feeling disinterested. So you identify that, and you will actually think about how to correct it. Like for instance, having a good tutor, like a tutor which will motivate you, you will do that. Or maybe you will be positive and you will see many YouTube videos which motivates you. You have to create that motivation within you. But naturally, if you do meditation, you automatically have that motivation inside you, because you know your reality and your intellect is with you. Your intellect will help you to understand those difficult problems. Like now I have a problem, and as in when you do meditation, your mind, your normal mind will actually combine with your intellect mind. Intellect mind is what the subconscious mind. It has the entire knowledge of the world. It has the knowledge of the past life, present, future, everything, whatever relates you. So it is actually a knowledgeable thing, the intellect mind. So now that mind is combined with your mind, intellect mind is combined with your mind. So whatever the problems may be, that intellect will give you the solution. With that intellect, if you have a problem with like front of you, that will give a correct solution, a proper solution, 100% sure solution. So through intellect mind, you will be understanding the mathematics in that way. So your intuition will help you basically. So doing meditation and correcting what are the steps you have to take, correcting yourself basically. These things generally we feel unaware, we are not aware of these things. But after you hear about it, or somewhere somewhat something strikes in you, you realize that you're making a mistake, you naturally tend to correct it. So that's what you can have in. And with meditation, with the intellect help, with the intuition help, you can definitely have that positive thinking, miraculous thinking inside you. So hope you got the answer.
Yes, yes, Chetana. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Definitely, as you said, meditation is a ultimate foundation for our transformation.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your wonderful answers and explanation.
Thank you. We can have an interactive session. I would like more questions to come up, because question answers are so effective. Yeah, Aarti, Monica.
Hello, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
This is my first session. I really had a good time with you. Actually, ma'am, how much time should I do meditation per day, ma'am?
Okay, so how long you have been doing meditation?
Ma'am, I used to do some 20 minutes, but not regularly. But after the session, I will try to do regularly, ma'am.
Okay, so basically you have to do like if I am 19 years old, 19 minutes of deep meditation is necessary for me, for just going ahead in my life and being successful daily. This is minimum 19 minutes of deep meditation. So if I am 19 years and I have to have 19 minutes deep meditation, so 5 minutes it will take like with the thoughts, dealing with the thoughts, something like that. So for me, it will be 25 minutes or somewhat as the basic thing. So you, according to your age, decide your time limit. So 19 minutes, I should have deep meditation. So that will be efficient. Sorry.
Okay, ma'am.
So that will be efficient for my life. So that is what it is related to your age. That many minutes you have to do minimum. Maximum it's your wish. You can do 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, or whole night you can sit. So that will be even more effective if you do that.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So anybody else would like to ask something?
I don't really have a question. I just really liked the session. So that's all I wanted to say.
Oh, thank you, Sindhu. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people these days, they're talking about like energy and the effect of energy on thoughts, right? So I was like really wanting to learn a little bit more about the topic, and there you go. We had a session today. So
That's
um
nice.
I was wondering, did you read any books or anything? Or do you know any books that are like about this topic?
Yeah, this topic is from a book called Consciousness Heals, written by Dr. Newton Kondavetti. We know him. So I just have a book beside me, that book only. So this is the book I read. And from this book only, I have given this. This is just like a part. It has 4 parts with it. So in this, from this, I have just represented a one part, the third part. Yeah, the third part I represented that actually talked about thoughts, beliefs, and how we should frame. I felt this is really important, and I just wanted to share it. And I am with my own examples also. I just combined and made this session effective and perfect.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, I'll try to read the book. So I was just wondering because I wanted to read the book too.
Yeah. So yes, so this book was amazing. I have one more part to go. I have to complete another part. I have completed 3 parts. So this book was amazing. It's called Consciousness Heals.
Consciousness heals. Okay. Yeah, because
It generally talks about if you are conscious about who you are, your true self, everything will fall into place. Everything like your health, your life problems, everything, generally everything will fall into place in its right direction. As you have the touch with your inner self, true self, your true self will actually guide you, giving your some sort of intuitions inside you. So that is the basic thing. Just aligning yourself with your true self, the true conscious, the form we are, the true self we are. Aligning with that, everything falls into place. So this is the main slogan from this book.
okay, cool. Yeah, because I like after I started doing meditation, like I can feel like all the effects of everything that you just said. So thank you.
Thank you, Sindhu. It was a wonderful book by Dr. Newton Kondavetti. Thank you, Chetna. It was a beautiful session. Thank you, Pranita. Pranita. Hello, Pranita. Thank you. Anybody else? Any questions?
Would anyone like to share or discuss anything for Chetana?
Yeah.
Would like to share or ask a question? Anything? Please raise your hand if you want to speak.
Thank you so much. It was actually inspiring. You people asked so much questions, and the feedback made me really inspired. I would come up with more sessions like this. It was really good. And also another thing I wanted to say, this Indigo Youth platform is welcome for everyone. Anyone has some topics like which is really striking yourself that I should share this to others and I should inspire people a lot, you are welcome. You just contact us. You can contact Saroja madam and just come here and share your topics. That will really help us because we as leaders are actually searching for speakers, and we don't have, that thing happens. So you can initiate something, like something strikes you wanted to share, like this topic struck me that I really wanted to share here, so I thought to share here. In the same way, if you have some topics like this, you can actually go ahead, contact us. You can contact Sonika, contact me, contact Saroja madam, and just go ahead and just come and just have we'll have a wonderful interactive session like this as we have today. So anything can happen. Yeah, Preetika Agarwal. Hello.
Hello, Chaitanya. It was a wonderful session. It was really insightful. So I had this doubt, like when you were telling that we have certain beliefs about, and these beliefs can be about anyone, right? It does not have to be only on a specific scenario in life. So suppose our belief says that a particular person is my enemy or he is my friend. So how do we change the perception of that enmity to a friend, even though the other person is not interested in being a friend?
Okay, so I will give this book's example itself. As it says, if you have aligned with your true identity, everything will fall into your place. So if you will understand after knowing your true identity, that everyone are the same. No one is enemy, or no one is something like a low person, like I am low to someone, or I feel that as someone is low to me or someone is enemy. That everything breaks away, and we understand that I am the same as you and you are the same as me, and everyone is the same. Everyone has the same consciousness within themselves. That existence, the consciousness from where it came from, the existence of that consciousness is the infinite love. And from that infinite love only, everyone are there. And from that infinite love, each and every emotion has been formed. So the basic thing, the basic foundation is the unconditional love, the infinite love. So from that, the creation is made, and from that, we are operating. So these things we start perceiving and we start analyzing, and our beliefs naturally change. So this book says that, so if you have aligned with yourself, with your true self, everything will fall into place. So how do you align yourself? How do you align with your true self? The only and only key is meditation. In meditation, you be with your soul. As and when you observe your normal natural breath, you go in contact with your intellect mind. You be with that intellect mind. You make yourself, you just have friendship with your intellect mind, and that intellect mind is the soul. That is soul is the infinite love, the unconditional love. So you just have the contact with it, and you will realize that thing. And after realizing, you will understand everyone are the same. Me, you, everybody has the same infinite consciousness, infinite thing, infinite love inside. So that after this realization, everything will vanish. So this is
So
what my answer.
we can change our perception about that person, but how do we make the other person realize that we are not indifferent? We are just the same as they are, because sometimes it's not us and sometimes it's them who are trying to make us feel inferior or something like that.
You just ignore them. You will start ignoring them, because they are doing just because they don't know. Just don't know that we and you are the same, and they just don't know that they are just stuck up, and they are just thinking in a wrong beliefs, in the wrong perception. So you will start ignoring, because even you have crossed those stages and you have realized yourself. Or we can just tell them to do meditation, like just giving a word, and maybe if it strikes their mind, they will receive it. If not, they will not receive. Or at some point of time in their life, even they are going to realize that this is not this is not the way we should lead our life. They will definitely change. So change in a person's life is in their life. It may be this lifetime or the next lifetime. We cannot predict that. So the only thing we should do is ignore. But doing meditation will automatically, that character will be inbuilt. You will definitely ignore them naturally. So that's what my thing is. My
Yeah,
answer
thank
was.
you so much. Thank you. It makes
Thank you.
sense.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Would anyone else like to share anything? Chetana, I will share if that's fine.
What?
I said I will share.
Yeah, you just go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I mean, it's not a question, but I was before I started meditation, maybe like 1 year ago or something around that time, I think, maybe a little 1 year and few months. So before that, like 4 years ago, when I was like in elementary school, I think. So I was getting really sick that time, and I missed like almost like I was missing so many days of school, and I was like almost failing all my tests and all that. I was getting low grades, and I was like, I'm not gonna get any higher marks. I'm like getting sick. I won't be able to like. I don't have that like when you're sick, you're tired. You don't have that focus to concentrate and all that. And so I like. I thought I wouldn't get higher than like what I was already getting. And then one point, like the school they told me that I wouldn't be able to like move on to the next grade. And if I like because I missed so many days of school. But that is when it like I was like, no, I have to do something. I don't want to be held back 1 year. And so I like that is when I started having a positive mindset, like unknowingly. I never like now since I started meditation, that is when I realized that happened. So this is before I did meditation. And so I started like studying really hard, even though I was like sick and all that. At home I would like study all the way nights. And then once I came to school, I would get I would get good scores, and I ended up passing, going to the next grade level with high scores. And that's when I realized that that positive thinking that you were saying, where our positive thinking that affects our emotions and what we do eventually, and that is what. And even now, like whenever I'm for exams and all that, since like I have an exam, and after I started doing meditation, I had an exam, and even though that subject is a little bit hard, I was able to like practice with meditation. I was able to see more. I was able to have a positive mindset, open mindset, more like that. And I was able to accept that sometimes I won't know these problems, but I kept on practicing and all that. Like yeah, like you were saying, everything like meditation before that, and also it really helped.
So yeah, so your situation is a live example of what I said.
Yes, yeah. And I think for everyone also, like you were saying, for like the emotions, like when you're in birthday party, it's like the series, like everyone's happy, you invite your friends, you cut the cake, it's all happy moments. And so those that the thoughts may not have like an emotion to it, but like the thoughts create that happy emotion. And so same thing with mathematics, you can change that emotion. Like if you really want to get a good score on that exam, you can't like just okay, you have to practice for that, and you have to do that. So like you have to change the your perspective of that thing in order. So like how you have that happy perspective on your birthday, you can also change your perspective on like that math exam, like you were saying.
Yeah. So yes, everything is possible. Everything is possible if meditation is added. It's way easy. It is like naturally everything tends to happen. We don't need to take extra efforts within us. Like now, if you want positive thinking, like every morning, just have positive thoughts. This naturally we tend to tell others, but doing meditation, we naturally be positive because our thoughts, our insecurities, our feelings, everything gets cleansed. The bad thing which is unnecessary, we just clean away. We just have the cleaning process in this meditation, and then from that thing we'll understand what is necessary, and we will start doing from inside naturally. Like as I said, intellect will act upon your life, so everything intellect will naturally make yourself acting to the necessary things you wanted in your life. So that's what you will experience after meditation. So Sonika's example is a correct thing. You can match with this.
Yeah, thank you,
Yes.
Chetana. That the session was amazing. Like I learned so much from the session also, like so many things I didn't know before and all. So does anyone else would like to share or ask a question for Chaitanya? If you would like to speak, please raise your hand.
Yes. Or if anyone doesn't have any questions, we can end this session. So if you have anything, or you can interact anything, if you wanted to share your experience, not only questions, as Sonika said, you can also have the experience sharing, or then we can just end the session if we are done with it then.
I have one more thing, Chaitanya, like I was saying, so you were saying about core beliefs, right? So those core beliefs are like lenses, like you have like the lens frame. If it's like, I know if you go to a movie theater, they have the 3D lenses or something one. Like you have blue colored lens, you have red colored lens, like that. You have like these different shades that you wear. It different perceives like what you said. I'm just repeating in my words.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
that, you change your core beliefs, it changes the way you perceive. Like one thing, like in my example, I toward the end of the school year, although I could think, oh, I cannot do, that's one lens. i cannot I cannot accomplish anything. I can't do anything right now at like at this state and like that. But there's another lens, the more positive lens, more like it gives you more opportunity. So it's more like you can choose your lens, you can change it, and you can almost change your core beliefs too. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, changing your lens is changing your perspectives and beliefs.
Yeah.
So that's naturally happening if you have the alignment with your true identity.
Yeah, like core beliefs are like so important. And the problem, I think, is that you don't even know that you have this many core beliefs. Like, and the problem is most of them are so limiting. Like before I did meditation, I didn't even know that I was being limited by these beliefs only. And like what I found is if you go into like deep meditation, like your mind starts to dissolve, right? This is how like I started dissolving like my core beliefs. Um, and like it's been really, really helpful to me just because like you view the world in different lens. Like people that I used to get so bothered by, you never get bothered by them anymore, or you feel like you can achieve anything that you want because your reality doesn't depend on the outside reality. Your reality depends on yourself and what you create of it. So it's really important to get rid of the core beliefs. One thing that I've been struggling about is like I have a couple of friends who like say they're into spirituality and stuff, but they have put up so many walls and so many core beliefs around them that it's so hard to break into their walls. Like if I want to go and teach them meditation, I can't teach them meditation. They'll be like, I'll sit and I'll do like my prayer reading or something like that. So like one thing, and the reason I'm sharing this is because I had a hard time. Like I broke my head over this for such a long time. Like I used to get so mad, like, why won't they listen to me? Why won't they like do meditation? Like I'm telling them, right? But like one thing to know is that you can only break your own core beliefs. Don't try to change anyone else's core beliefs. You can tell them how to do it. Like, you know how Chaitanya madam told us how to like break your beliefs. But if you go and tell someone that, oh, you have these 3 core beliefs, you have to break them, they won't break it. So just I broke my head over it for such a long time. So I'm just telling everyone right now, only focus on yourself. And if it's in their destiny, if that's their like soul path to change, they will only change. You can only tell them. So don't put any expectation on that they will change or anything like that. I just wanted to share that one thing.
Yeah. So we should generally have this thing in our mind that we create our own reality. So we don't create others' reality, and we don't have control over others' life also. So if they wanted to change, they have to identify what are those their mistakes, and they will definitely change if they get knowledge with it. So the thing is, if they are stubborn and adamant, it's like they don't realize that they are really stubborn and adamant, so they just stuck up there. So as and when they go ahead in life, they one day will realize, and they have to only break their beliefs. So we can just guide them. You do meditation, everything will happen. It's only up to them that they are receiving that or not. So that's all it is. So we can only change ourselves, we can't change others. So that's the
Yeah,
thing.
and don't judge them. Like I used to like, even after I accepted the fact that like I can't change them, I used to judge them too. I'd be like, oh, she doesn't do like I used to do stuff like that, right? And like it's just a process. It takes time and everything, but like don't feel like that. Like if you start to feel like yourself, like if you're getting frustrated or something, just be like, that's how they're gonna be only, and just like come out of it, like my friend, like I'm still friends with that person, but like you cannot be like, I'm gonna end the friendship over that. Like it's not gonna be like that. It's just have fun with them however much you want to have fun with them, and then just leave it and move on with your life.
Yes,
The biggest lesson I have learned.
that's great. Thanks for sharing. If anybody has anything to share, you can share, or else we'll end the session then. Thank you so much for the comments here. Everyone have given the wonderful explanation. Thank you so much.
If anyone would like to share, please raise your hand, like anything, experience, questions, like anything you would like to say, anything like that. You can raise your hand and speak.
I think then we can end the session if there is so much.
Yeah, I don't think there's any more. Anyone who wants? I think yeah. Don't think anyone has any questions or experiences. Should we end the session?
Yeah, we can. So
Let me stop the recording 1 second.